New and noteworthy are the topic of the day with High Level. In case you didn't know, this past week was Level Up. It was High Level's annual conference where they make a ton of releases. There's all kinds of networking that happens. It happened down in Dallas, and it was just amazing by the looks of it. Unfortunately, I was not able to get there this year. Fingers crossed for next year. However, the updates that I've been able to see already coming out of this event are just amazing. So it's Saturday here, and I have spent my entire morning watching hours of videos on these updates and releases that they announced this week. I know, I know. Anyway, I wanted to jump on and just cover a couple of the ones that I am most excited about right now. Of course, keeping in mind that some of these are just what's to come. They're not even actually been released yet. And some of them are maybe not exactly what my clients are even looking for. So these are really my notes, my feedback around what I think is going to be most useful for the types of clients that I serve, which are small to medium service-based businesses. I work a lot with business coaches, business consultants, lawyers, CPAs, anyone that really considers themselves a consultant in their industry. So these are the things that I think are going to be really impactful and also just going to make my job easier as a marketing auditor. And I really have five key items that I want to cover here. One of them is a little overarching, and the other ones are a little more specific. But the five key areas that I've taken away so far from the notes and what I've seen coming out of Level Up, which keep in mind there were like 300 updates that came out of this event, or 300 slides of updates that they did. And I'm going to show you where I found some of that information as well. But the five key areas that I'm really honing in on, that I'm really excited about based on what I've learned over yesterday and today, really are focused on a lot of AI updates, like a lot. I mean, that in itself could probably be broken down into at least 20, 30 different things that I am excited to explore and try out. Then there's definitely a big user interface update coming to the CRM side of things, the contact screen, which I did allude to in another video. When I went through the contact screen, we sort of knew this was coming, but it's pretty much in effect and ready for use now. Then there was some speed advantages that they really talked about. And so for anyone that's been at all frustrated with refreshing screens or just the load time on different things, speed was definitely a factor and just overall improvement in terms of the platform itself. Another big thing I'm really excited about is the ability to go live in communities, to have not just events posted in your communities, but to actually be able to go live. And then those live videos will convert to recordings. So I think that's a huge update. I think that's a really great thing coming to communities. And there's a few other things that are maybe just as important for some, also in the community space, as far as being able to monetize and grow membership communities. But the biggest thing for me personally that I can't wait for, and it was a coming soon feature, so I can't quite play with it yet, is my understanding, is the advanced workflow builder. This advanced workflow builder is really going to help as far as creating, just streamlining the workflows and automations. I see it as being able to create multi-step workflows all within one canvas and not having to have three or four different workflows that point to each other, but being able to see it all at once. Just that visual aspect alone, I'm very excited for. And I have worked in a lot of other platforms. Most of the platforms I've worked in have been similar to High Level's, what we're now calling the standard workflow builder, where it's just you enter the items. It's usually vertical. One connects to another. Branching is certainly an option, but that's kind of as creative as it gets. And then to take it to the next step, you have to go into another workflow. So you'll be stringing two or three workflows together quite often. One system that I've used before has been a little more of that canvas look. And I'm not talking necessarily about like N8N or Make. I'm talking about an actual automation workflow builder in another platform where you could have a trigger that started a workflow, and then the next step, which would typically be another workflow, is actually on that same page. So you can view it all together. Well, that's the way that High Level is now going to be looking in the advanced builder. So I'm very excited about that. I think just it's going to take a lot of the confusion out of having multiple workflows and having to build in multiple spots right out of the equation. So if you're wondering what all of these updates are, where to find them, I'm going to point you to two very specific things. There is an article on the High Level website that I'm going to show you, and then there's the actual Friday release radar, which they usually do every Friday. This past Friday, they did an extended release radar that was sort of a highlight reel of what they announced at LevelUp. So let's take a quick look. All right. So for starters, as I mentioned, there's an article at GoHighLevel, and this is a list of all the different features that they released. And the nice thing is that they do have little help articles and change logs for each one of these items. This page is long, though, no joke. I mean, even 34 minutes just to read this page is the recommendation. So when I said I spent hours this morning going through these updates and enhancements, not kidding. So if we just take a quick scroll down through here, you can see one of the things that's coming is a desktop app. This actually wasn't even covered in the video and it's still in private beta, but I'll be very excited to try this out, test this out once it becomes available. There are mobile app advancements coming. By far, there was a ton of these listed. Definitely some enhancement to the calendars, multiple enhancements, and these are not necessarily in the best order as I'm scrolling through here. I believe the video did a little bit better job of keeping all the related topics together. But we go from calendars to some prospecting updates, tracking updates, this external tracking with forms and tracking scripts. I think this is going to be really, really helpful. Google Business Profile enhancements, another prospecting enhancement. We've got some SaaS enhancements, which won't necessarily apply to everyone, but being able to import Stripe products will be exciting for some of us. Here's one of the AI items. This is the AI Agent Studio, which I know some people are super excited about, kind of thinking about that workflow-based idea around building AI agents. And I can't wait to try this out. I do feel like when we talk about practical use cases for the everyday business in High Level, some of my clients are going to be a little leery still about these AI enhancements. And as far as, like I said, AI is definitely one of the top 5 things that I'm talking about today, one of the top 5 things I am excited about today. And there were lots of updates around the agents, around conversation AI and voice AI, which is what I think most of us think of when we're thinking of AI and High Level. But some of the things that I'm even more excited about were actually the features that they've added where you can build things in High Level using AI, and they've really up-leveled a lot of those. And those are the things I'm almost more excited to jump into right now. All right, so we're getting revamped lists in contacts. We're getting a whole revamped screen in contacts, like I mentioned, and this is sort of broken up into a couple different items in here in this list. Reputation management saw some really cool updates too. So if you're using reputation management, if that is a key factor for your business, you'll definitely want to take a look at those updates a little bit closer. Some accessibility enhancements, bulk action enhancements. Again, we see another AI update here. So conversation AI. I think the conversation AI is definitely ahead of voice AI. It's a well-developed product at this point, and it's only getting better. So this is something I'm getting closer and closer to implementing on the vast majority of our client platforms. With smaller businesses, I do feel like there's a little more hesitation with some of these things. And some of that hesitation actually comes around the pricing of AI, being a little unsure of how much it's going to cost to create and implement and then utilize these things, which is another change that they made with this event. The AI pricing, they are no longer adding on to the AI pricing. You're only paying for tokens. But I think even that feels a little confusing for small businesses. So this is something that I want to personally dig into deeper, do a couple examples, have some very clear use cases for my clients to be able to say, if you implement this, this is the type of cost you're looking at. So I do think that's part of the hesitation too on the part of small businesses. Here's another reputation management update, reselling update again for SaaS, for resellers of High Level. Reoccurring webinars, the webinar platform inside. So you've got your funnels, your websites, and then your webinars when you're building sites. This is something I'm still not finding a perfect use case for, but they're getting there. They're adding more features to it. So I'm going to continue to be testing this. Social listening in the social planner, this is pretty new. Have already started testing it out, really excited about it, and can't wait to see that come along a little further as well. Granular payment permissions, these are all good things. All right, funnels and element templates in the page builder. These are more things that I'm very excited about. Anything around funnels and page builders are things that people are going to use right away. More access to templates. That's never a bad thing. Again, another conversation AI update. This is another SaaS or reseller update. We can do specific cancellation reasons, which this one actually, I think, released prior to the event, but always good to mention. And same, another SaaS and reseller update here with special prices for sub accounts. That's what I'm going to be looking at because we definitely have a lot of different variations in there, and it would be great if we could streamline some of those. Another SaaS update. And then Social Planner Threads is now integrating. So we're increasing the amount of different platforms that you can post to in the Social Planner. That is always a great thing to see. There's a WordPress update, another WordPress update. You can now put custom values in WordPress. So we're connecting even more things through that lead connector app, which is really great if you're using WordPress. Another AI update. This is specific to knowledge bases. So they're adding more details to what you can create in the knowledge bases, which is always a really, really useful piece of this. Without that, it's a difference of using regular chat GPT versus a custom GPT, right? Being able to add some of those trained knowledge on the back end. Some e-commerce updates. Again, I deal mostly with service-based business, so this one may not be quite as exciting for our clients, but I know some people out there that are looking to try and get away from Shopify possibly. These are the things that they're looking for, right? We now have some AI configurations or better AI configurations within the chat widgets. Some QR code updates, comment management in the social planner. Again, we're taking that social planner even further. This is great. Snapshots. So again, if you're an agency, if you're a reseller, snapshot updates are always going to be really huge. A CSV blog importer. So we actually have been using imports for the blogs already, but it looks like we have an update to that. So that's never a bad thing either. Dashboards and reporting. So this is for ads, and there has been some pricing changes on the ad platform. So I think this is all really headed in the right direction. Then we have another new integration on the social planner, Blue Sky. The media library image editor. This is going to be a really useful one, and I see this one just getting better and better as well. I think this is just the beginning. I know that they're also looking into Canva integrations. I know that that's going to be a super good one for small to medium-sized businesses, so we're really excited to see when they roll out that Canva integration too. Another snapshot update, another another snapshot update. Like I said, they may not be in the best order in this article, but they're all really good to certainly scroll through. And you can see that I am still only halfway through this article. There are so many updates on here. So affiliate management, here's another really important thing if you're doing anything with affiliates. Another conversation AI, so they can now respond to images, and there's another one that's going to be on here for audio as well. This is one of the things that I'm saying is in my top 5 is this contact upgrade. Everything's going to look different in the CRM side of things on the contact screen, and you're going to have way more options to change and customize your views in there. Another prospecting update. Another conversation AI update, so multiple calendars. So this is going to simplify the building of your conversation AI if you're looking to book appointments that way. And you'll notice as I'm scrolling through here, there's a bunch of 14-day free trials. If you're not already a high-level user, just know that there is a link down below in this description where you can actually get a 30-day free trial and a free boot camp. So I recommend you click that link. All right, we have another SaaS update, banner management. We have more dashboard and reporting. We have opportunity, pipeline permissions. So now you can customize your pipelines and who can see them. This is great for sales teams. Autocomplete for all accounts is now available on your forms and surveys. We have some more custom object updates. Not everybody's using custom objects. This might be a little more specific use case, but if you are, the advancements they're making there are going to make the system so much more usable for you. Quizzes. There have been some updates to the quizzes. I actually saw these come out earlier last week, maybe even the end of the week before. And I'm very excited to see that they're continuing to build out the quiz element in here. I think quizzes quizzes are super useful for lead generation, for lead magnets, and the quiz builder could use a little bit more help. So as they continue to develop this, I'm going to continue to test it. I'm not 100% sure if it's exactly where I'm looking for it yet, but I think they're headed in the right direction. All right, so we've got custom object dashboards as well. Again, this is for those people using custom objects. You're going to be really happy with these. More WordPress integrations and updates, cloning in surveys, forms, and quizzes. Anytime we can clone or duplicate things, it just makes the creation that much faster. Really good features to be adding. We have a Printify integration, again, for the e-commerce people. And custom objects are now available for everyone. So again, they did change the pricing model with a lot of these launches. They actually made things even more affordable, which I wasn't sure was possible. Another update for the quizzes. Again, still kind of testing those out. I'm not sure it's fully customizable how some people will want it yet, but I am excited that they're heading in the right direction, that they're continuing to update the quiz section, because that is definitely something that I know all of our clients would love to use more of. Another e-commerce update for shipping. Best time recommendations for email sending. This is really going to be great for those people that are sending a lot of emails, doing a lot of email promotion. We have several videos about best practices in email, and the more you can improve your email capacity, the more you can improve the way that you're sending and get your messages into people's hands at the right time, well, the better your reputation is going to be and the better your email is going to be sent. So this has multiple reasons to be excited about this one. All right, voice AI in the chat widget. People will now be able to talk to the chat widget, to the voice AI in the chat widget. For those that are using chat widgets and for those that are excited about AI, this is another really great update. So we have a payment integration with Square, an update there. And here's the communities and collab go live feature. This is in my top 5 updates. This is one very excited about. Can't wait to try this one out. All right, you can also do attachments in chat widgets. One of the really good use cases I heard in another video I was listening to is if you are someone dealing with car repairs, or if you're a salon, these are great because people can actually send, oh, here's the hairstyle that I'm thinking of, or here's the damage to my car. So I can definitely see some use cases around this. For coaches and consultants, I'm not 100% sure, but I'd love to hear some ideas. If you're excited about the idea of being able to send attachments in a live chat or in a chat widget, please share in the comments. And as I mentioned previously, when we were talking about images, the conversation AI can now also respond to audio. So they've really increased the ability for the conversation AI, which was already pretty well developed. It's now growing by leaps and bounds. Our opportunities and pipelines, you can now color code, which is just going to make it a lot easier. Multi-object association in the CRM. I mentioned another one of the top 5 for me is the increase in speed and control throughout the system that they are adding and continuously updating. And that is some of what we're seeing here just in the conversations section. And they talk about it in multiple different sections and give us a ton of data and numbers if you watch the Level Up video as well. We got a bulk SMS upgrade, TikTok DMs and commenting automations. If you're big on TikTok, you're going to be very excited about this one. So far, it has been Instagram and Facebook focused for DMs, and now we're adding TikTok. All right, they improved the merge duplicates for contacts. That's never a bad thing. And we have page control. There's a couple different updates on this one as well. We're now having better versioning. You can restore pages, those types of things. So just better control if you need to go back and forth. There's also some updates to auto saving in a couple different areas in the system. You can send bulk review requests as well. So that is an update, kind of connects with both contacts and reputation management. So if you are tracking response times with sales opportunities or ticketing or anything like that, this is a really nice update. It's also a way, as one of the use cases I was hearing, is it's a way to show people when they might want to incorporate voice or conversation AI if you're not able to respond in an appropriate time. So this could actually increase sales opportunities even within the system for those of us that are reselling. Or even for those of you just using it, if you're noticing that your response times are not good enough, then you might want to consider adding some AI in there. Community affiliates is a brand new thing. I mentioned earlier that the ability to grow and monetize communities is increasing, and this is a big piece of it. I have a whole another video about affiliates and why everybody should be using affiliates. And now you're able to have community affiliates just for your paid communities. I think that that's also going to be another great rollout. We have another calendar update for scheduling. SMS notifications for calendars and services. For many of us, we've been building those out as separate workflows instead of within the calendar and appointment settings. It looks like that is moving to be more centralized where all the follow-ups are as well. Conversation AI has another update. There is a new flow-based builder. So again, just more exciting updates for AI, which definitely is on my top 5 as an overarching AI in general. Huge updates here, lots of stuff to dig into. Taxes and processing fees may not sound like the most exciting update, but for those that are having difficulty with these or for those that are stuck on those, you're going to be very helpful to have those barriers removed. There's a new company-based triggers and actions within the workflows. And I know for people that deal more with companies and organizations versus individuals, the B2B, which is a lot of my clients, these are going to be very useful. As I mentioned, and as a couple of the other updates we're alluding to, there is a whole new contact layout page, and that is in my top 5, definitely to dig into, very excited about. More updates to the mobile app. We now have PayPal for calendars and services. I have several clients that I know specifically that have been waiting for this. So again, payments might not always be the most exciting updates, but when they don't work, it's a problem. Multi-location incoming calls if you have multiple accounts. Brand board custom colors. I actually just recently did a whole video on branding. And one of the things that's in there, and there's another update actually for brand boards as well, the global custom colors. One, these are great because they're actually global throughout the system. Two, they actually are going to be included in snapshots. And right next to the global colors is global fonts, which is also another brand new rollout we've been waiting for. It's been sitting there as a waiting for item. So very excited about that too. Outbound calling. I know a lot of people have been waiting for this. I think there's a lot of hoops to jump through to get access to this. You have to be really careful with this. You certainly would not want to burn your phone numbers with spamming people, but this is essentially getting rolled out. So if this is on your list of must-haves, you're getting it. Local presence dialing is another thing that I do believe people that do a lot of phone calls or want that outbound calling, we're also very much waiting for this. And WhatsApp notifications and integrations. There was actually, I believe, several updates related to WhatsApp, and calendars was definitely one of them. All right, so that's the article. That is all the updates. There's just a ton of them that came out this week. And then if you're more of a visual learner, there is a video called Up-Level Day Restream. It's on the High Level channel on YouTube, and it is about an hour long. And some of it, like you have to watch it on 1 speed. This is not one of those that you can watch the whole thing on 1.5 speed. If you know Sean Clark, he went rapid fire through some of these updates. And there is a lot of them. Like I said, they had over 300 slides that they presented on this particular video. So highly recommend that you look through that article, you watch that video for yourself, that you take a little exploration into the things that are catching your eye the most. Go look at the change logs, all of that. And I can't wait to dig into some of these updates as they roll them out. Like I said, some of them are still not even yet available. They're coming soon. And so they were announcing them this past week. As these things roll out and as they work out the kinks and any bugs that might actually present themselves, because after all, we are talking about tech, I will absolutely be digging into each one. The workflow builder, I know hands down, I'm going to go through in detail. And that's one that I feel like wasn't even really in the article, but they did show that, and they showed a really cool piece of that in the video. To recap, my top 5 things that I'm most excited about out of LevelUp are all of the AI updates, although I do want to really make sure I understand the pricing models for my clients, how they're all working, test them all out. So you can definitely anticipate some future videos around not just conversation and voice AI, but also around all the AI builders. You can now build funnels, build workflows using AI, even by just giving it examples of somebody else's website. So very excited to test all of those things out. That's number one, is the AI updates and changes to AI pricing. Number two is the updates and changes to the CRM fields and all of your contact screens. I am definitely going to be running through a full update of those and can't wait to see how that's going to enhance our ability to just find what we're looking for, get all the data, make our screens more usable. That's a big part of the system, is being able to find what you need. And there's a lot of stuff in this system, as we all know. So if we can make that process easier, I think it's going to be just so much more user friendly. Number three, as far as my big takeaways and things I'm excited about out of UpLevel, is the speed increases and all the little bug fixes where pages are just loading so much faster, the different processes within the system are loading so much faster, the response times are faster, even the help desk response times that they went through and showed how much faster those are getting and how much better the support is getting are all very exciting. Number four is being able to go live in communities and the updates to the communities that they're rolling out, just to improve our memberships and our ability to turn those into profitable systems. I know so many of my clients want to be able to grow their communities, and they're testing out the high level memberships, communities, and online courses. Maybe they're sort of 1 foot in, 1 foot out. I think being able to go live, being able to have affiliates, and the additional upgrades that are coming out, I think that those are all going to flip the script and really push people to be excited about high level communities. And at number five, probably the biggest one for me, being that I love to build workflows and that I think workflows are probably most useful part of the entire high level platform, is the new advanced workflow builder that's coming out. I cannot wait to use that and do a few videos on exactly why you should be using the advanced builder over the standard builder. But of course, both work. All right, so my name is Catherine Ferris. I am the owner of Marketecs and Marketecs Engine, and I would love it if you would like, subscribe, and share this video. Also, make sure you check out the links down in the description. I have lots of stuff for you, lots of stuff to share, links to that article, links to the video, and I can't wait to do more updates soon.